Hey everyone, welcome back to AussieStarcraft, where today we've got our hot little hands on the RedBull Battlegrounds replay pack. So we'll be bringing you some games from the group stages of that tournament. Today, playing on Frost, in the top left hand corner is our blue Terran player, we have Startails Bomber. In the top right hand corner is our red Zerg player, we have Aces Scarlett. As you can see, there's cool little decals. I'm just wondering why Scarlett's has disappeared momentarily, but these two players very well known to the StarCraft 2 community. We've of course seen lots of Bomber this year, having an excellent year in the WCS, winning Season 2, and Scarlett herself placing highly in many tournaments throughout the year. Scarlett touted as one of the best foreign Zergs in the world at the present time, so we can expect this to be a great game. We saw these two go up against each other in, I think it was the semi-finals of WCS Season 2, and they were some absolutely great games then. So naturally, as I was leafing my way through the replay pack and saw this game, I thought we've just got to cast that. Bomber vs Scarlett, always going to be an epic matchup. TVZ, obviously very exciting matchup, particularly with the current meta game. We see a lot of biomine aggression versus Zergling Bangling Muta, which makes for a very dynamic game both to play and to watch. So we'll see what Bomber and Scarlett have for us today. Scarlett scouting out with her overlords, going to unfortunately scout the wrong way with the first overlord, so it'll be a little bit later seeing what Bomber is up to. But choosing to throw a hatchery down on the low ground there. You can see the Acer logo there. Not sure why it's not appearing on the main hatchery at present, but you'll see Bomber throwing down his CC on the high ground. We've seen this style out of Bomber quite a lot, particularly all the way from about Season 2. Very macro-based play, goes for his second and third command center quite quickly. Going to finish up the wall in with the barracks. Frost quite a large map, so neither player particularly worried about any rushing. Scarlett going for a very early third base before spawning pool, so that's particularly bold. Not very common that you'll see that in the current environment, particularly with most Terran players going for a quick factory with 4 or 6 Hellions out of it. Tends to make it very difficult, particularly when your third base is going to be separated from your natural and not connected by creep, and particularly with 2 quick expansions, you're very unlikely to have Zergling speed at a point in time when you can safely defend that Hellion play. So we'll see if this greedy opening pays off for Scarlett, or whether Bomber's able to exploit that with some early Hellions or Reapers or whatnot. We do have the gas on the way for Bomber, not going for a Reaper, so very likely we'll see a factory thrown down momentarily. Scarlett moving with the Overlord here, but seeing the Marine knows he's got to back out to stay alive. Scarlett's spawning pool just finishing up now. 2 queens are on the way, 1 in the main, 1 in the natural. We've already got quite a few workers on the field. We check out the income tab, we have 22 harvesters to 18, so not a very big differential there at all, but we'll see if that changes once we get the third hatchery on the field. Bomber, of course, bringing along his third command center already and expanding straight to the low ground. This is of course a result to him scouting out early. If you check out Bomber's vision, he saw the natural was down, well established in mining when he scouted, and as a result he decided he would bring his command center. He knows there's not going to be a big swell of Zerglings in the next few moments. Is factory well on the way now? Reactor also almost finishing up, so we are going to very likely see a swell of Hellions out of Bomber, and we'll see if Scarlett's able to get in a position to defend against this at all. Currently we have almost no units on the map for either side. We do have 2 Zerglings here prodding away at the front door of Startails Bomber, just trying to see what's going on, get a feel for how many units are on the field. Scarlett knows as long as she has lava, she can react to this quite readily, but does need to catch when those Hellions or Marines start moving out. Of course, 2 Hellions now on the way, so Scarlett has about a minute or 2 before there's 4 or 6 Hellions out. Not throwing down any static defense, just consistently going for a lot of drones. If we check out the Harvesters tab now, you can see a massive differential, 43 to 28, so it is quite a substantial mining difference. And if Scarlett can defend against this early aggression from Bomber, she's she's going to be in an excellent position to macro up and take this game into the mid game. These Hellions scouting out now. They're going to come across this Queen and will be forced back until there's a few more in play. Scarlett starting to morph in a few Zerglings to buff up this defense as well as metabolic boost. We do have 2 Hellions on the map, but currently no Hellions following this up. So barracks has been swapped back onto the reactor, and the factory is going to build another reactor of its own. So we may not actually see many more Hellions in production. Bomber may well be trying to make do with these 4. Scarlett going to stop these Hellions from getting in. We've got the Queens here. Oh no, the Hellions unable to make it through, blocking off with those Zerglings. They come down to the natural. They are going to light up a bundle of these drones. We have 3 drones going down so far. A lot of Zerglings getting picked off by these Hellions, but the 2 or 3 Queens here are going to be able to force these back. 4 Queens now from Scarlett. So quite a number of Queens on the map here. Scarlett doing her best to force these Hellions back with Queens, and not a lot of Zerglings, but just a few. Gets a nice round and cleans up those Hellions. So if we check out the units lost tab, is going to be roughly equal for both players. Only 6 workers going down. It's even, but not as much damage as Bomber perhaps would have liked to have done with that number of Hellions. So Scarlett able to hold that off quite comfortably, and now you can see her moving very comfortably into the mid games. Queen spreading creep towards Bomber's base, and a lot of gas going down. We have 4 geysers already mining, and 2 more on the way. That's a spore crawl. I thought Scarlett might have had a spire, but not just yet. Lair's still about 8 seconds from finishing up. But Scarlett is going to have a considerable amount of gas when that spire does finish, and is going to be able to get a considerable number of Mutalisks if she does in fact decide to go that way. And we do have the spire on its way. A lot of Marines and mines moving down into a position to defend this 3rd base. Bomber expanding fairly fearlessly himself, with Scarlett grabbing her 4th base, so not taking this location up here. You may wonder why would you take it so far away? Well, the primary reason is A, it's far away from your opponent. 2, it's not exposed to quite easy drops from the Terran base. With Bomber spawning this location, it's quite easy to siege this base from the high ground. It's very easy to take and hold that position. So very unpopular to try and expand towards your opponent on the low ground. It's kind of asking to get the expansion hammered, and Scarlett knows a lot better than that. I love all the cool decals that are on the map. I think it's one of the next big steps to esports is to get company branding and sponsors more prevalent in the game, and I think that's a cool little move with all the decals, both for RedBull and for Scarlett. Have Bomber moving out here with a big biomine force, going to be cleaning up a lot of the creep in the main base. Centrifugal hook's not quite finished up yet, so Scarlett really doesn't want to engage here, but she is losing a lot of her creep spread. Going to be forced back to this 3rd base, and Bomber's already starting his relentless aggression. We can see 10 Marines on the way at a time with 2-2. 2-2 also on the way for Scarlett. We have a lot of Widow Mines here. If these Widow Mines can get good detonations, indeed they do, because Bomber's picked up into his medevacs. It's going to be very even engagement here. These Banelings only the last couple of Banelings, they're really making it cost effective. We have 38 Zerglings on the way for reinforcements. Overseers in place here to clean up these mines. You really don't want to see these mines getting multiple uses. Bomber able to pick up 2 of those mines and the Marines and fall back. Is great micro from both of these players. Scarlett going to be forced back while Bomber just relentlessly marches forward. These Marines and Widow Mines just picking off a Queen there. Nice little pick up there. These Widow Mines have a couple of kills each. He's going to make his way down to this 4th base. Does Bomber know about this 4th base? No, he doesn't, but he's got a suspicion. Here he is. He's marching right in with the Widow Mines. Scarlett's cleaning up some of the other force with those Zerglings and Mutas, but going to be forced to abandon mining on this 4th base. Mass Marine Forces hatchery is going to go down in seconds. And indeed it does. Red health of the hatchery does go down. The Zerglings getting this round, but the massive amount of Marines is going to force these Mutalisks back. Can't afford to engage Mutalisks against Marines at this stage of the game. Well, really at any stage of the game. But this is just non-stop action from the very start of this game. We're only 13 minutes in. Already we're seeing players on 5 bases. So there's, both these players, we may have nice Baneling connections there, almost able to take out that Widow Mine as well. Gonna force Bomber back until his reinforcements stream in. Marines still 12 at a time, 2 Marauders. Scarlett herself producing Zerglings and Mutalisks by the dozen. About to re-throw down this 4th base. And see, Bomber, when he gets on 3 bases, is just terrifying to behold. His macro is absolutely relentless. We have 13, up to 13 Marines at a time. See this raw production out of Bomber. It's absolutely incredible. Almost a non-stop swarm of Marines and Marauders. Now, pushing back towards his 3rd base, he knows this is the point of difference in this game. If you can take out the Zerg's 3rd, you are going to do massive damage. But Scarlett's here with a massive Zergling run by and into the main base, going to pick off some of the reinforcements and go to town in this natural expansion. Oh, could it be possible that we're seeing a base race at this early in the game? We have Bomber just moving for the 3rd base. Scarlett has nothing here to defend it. A few Mutalisks and Zerglings is not going to be enough to push back this massive Marine force. But we'd see Scarlett making a mess of the 3rd base as well. We have SCVs going down left, right and centre. Finally, Bomber able to clean up some of those Zerglings in the main, but Scarlett's about to lose her own 3rd base. We have 13 workers killed to 9. There's so many units being slaughtered here. Units lost 10,000 to 7,000. Bomber being very cost effective here. A few nice Baneling connections there at the end, but still this Terran force is just going to continue to pressure this 3rd base. The 3rd base is going to go down. Can these Banelings connect? Oh, nice splitting from Bomber. Going to be able to fall back to his reinforcements. And another group of Marines stimming forward. Scarlett really needs to pick off a few of these medevacs. These medevacs making these Terran units just so cost effective. We can see 3-3 on the way now for Bomber. Not on the way as of yet for Scarlett. Scarlett at the moment a bit preoccupied trying to establish and maintain her bases. 4th base now back on the way, but really a new 3rd, a 5th, now a 4th, and it's starting to mine here as well. So Bomber knows that base is going to be back up, moving out with a massive Marine force, but not a lot of Marauders or Widow Mines. So a few Banelings here could be just what Scarlett needs. But unfortunately, this base is going to go down again. Scarlett unable to get in the position to defend this, but she may be able to pick off this whole force. The medevacs being sandwiched by the Mutalisks. The Mutalisks are going to pick off some of those medevacs and all the Marines going down there. Bomber unable to pick up his Marines in time. These Marines and Marauders going to get picked off. How does that fare in the units lost tab? Scarlett still having lost 4,000 more minerals than Bomber, but Scarlett having the minerals to lose. She has been 1 or 2 bases ahead this whole time, though currently actually needs to throw down her 3rd base again and get that mining. Scarlett now being forced to take the expansion closest to Bomber. Really not the position she wanted to be in, but if she can re-establish this base, she is going to have almost 6 bases mining simultaneously. Not maxed out and mass saturated by any means, but certainly a great position to be in. She really needs the gas to keep these Mutalisks coming. I feel like she needs to get a little bit of harass done in the main base. There's virtually no anti-air. Bomber relies almost solely on his Marine micro to be able to make the most of this position. Scarlett's going to pick off these ground units, but she needs to get the medevacs. The medevacs are what's killing her in this composition, though. Zergling's going to do a little bit of damage to the 3rd base. Scarlett pushing the front door, but just finds a massive wall of Marines and SCVs from Bomber. Going to be able to hold the front base, but this 3rd base, its mining's going to be taken out now. It's going to be forced to lift off. Bomber down to 2 bases. Main base almost mined out here. Is down to 1 mining base. Nice drop counter attack here. It's going to clean up what's Scarlett's 6th base currently. Bomber loads up that medevac. Going to get that out of there. Scarlett falling back, trying to find that with the Mutalisks, but Bomber hiding it craftily in the corner. Scarlett has excellent vision, but Bomber knows where it is. He's managing to skirt around it quite carefully. Will Scarlett find this medevac? Nope, going to be forced to pull out with her force. She wants to get back on the front foot. Doesn't want Bomber to be able to mine again. You can see her cheekily preventing that base from going back down, hiding changelings underneath it. Well, not really hiding, they're in plain sight, but gonna be able to prevent Bomber from landing that command center for the next couple of minutes. And pick off a medevac. 2 medevacs going down here. Bomber's dropped almost 1 medevac on the field, and this is exactly what Scarlett needs. We'll see that unit loss tab still about 4,000, well, almost close to 3,000. As soon as we see those medevacs go down, we will see a much more cost-efficient Scarlett in these engagements. Bomber, this second hatchery snipe with this single medevac and 6 Marines, and Bomber's so good, even with small groups of units, able to micro them around while he's fighting these big engagements. Snipe hatcheries, managing to keep him in this game at this point. Nice spread on these Marines, but there are so many Banelings here, going to clean that up. Oh, we see a massive supply differential now. It's 78 to 155. Scarlett can sense the blood in the water, moving out now. Got Overlords pooping. These command centers just cannot get down and cannot get any mining. Oh, these SCVs going to get caught by the Zerglings and Banelings. These reinforcements going to get sandwiched on the ramp, and Bomber forced to GG out of that game. What a fantastic TVZ by both Scarlett and Bomber, just non-stop. I'm almost out of breath, guys. That was fantastic. What a TVZ to start the morning with. You just see the relentless Bomber-esque macro as he just pounds out 13, 14 Marines and Marauders at a time, along with the Widow Mines. I don't know how many hatcheries Bomber took down in that game. I counted at least 5. It was only a 20-minute game. Just phenomenal from both these players. Scarlett able to take that series off Bomber and progress through to the next round. So great games in these group stages. We'll be casting a lot more. We have a lot of other great players participating in this tournament. We have SOS and Parting, big names from the WCS recently. We also have Liquid Snoot and a lot of others. So just an absolutely great series of games that we'll be casting. So catch the RedBull Battlegrounds here on Aussie StarCraft. Thanks guys, we'll catch you in the next cast.